So are we good to? All right, good. Okay, so this evening we'll be doing an introduction to Power BI. Power BI is a reporting solution tool that data enthusiasts or analysts or business analysts can use in presenting their information, analyzed data to business executives or to their clients. In simple, plain language, layman terms, it helps you take decisions quickly because you can visualize the data you have analyzed in different visuals. Bar chart, it could come in as a map, it could come in as a pie chart, as a line chart, it will come in as a card. It will come in also as a tree or a model, like a flow chart model. The advantage of that is that when you are able to see it on clear terms, all on one page, all on one on your visuals, you can quickly take important business decisions. So in essence, Power BI offers data, helps you in data preparation, data visualization, distribution, and management. And like I said, development, and it's also online access, such that your data is always updated data. Your data set, because you bring it online, it has an online service. Your data set is always updated. So you can complete very simple reports to present your. So it can also, like I said, so presenting your reports, it helps you bring complex data, and you can model it into a report that comes on a plain view. That's the beauty of Power BI. So getting started with Power BI, I sent in from the Word document, we have a link that you can download Power BI directly, but I'm going to show you what you do. So this is I'm going to show you how to download it if you don't already have it on your page. If you are not using a Microsoft Edge, you can just type in powerbi.microsoft.com on your browser, and then you get the desktop version. The clause with that is that if it's a Chrome or anything, you might have to pay for it if you are getting it from another source. But if you are getting it from Microsoft, it is free, and you have a constant, a monthly updated version for your use. So if you getting started with Power BI, if you can see my screen, can I just get a filler? Hello?
I can see it now.
Okay, good. So on my screen, you just go to the for this system, it's on the pane, the bottom of my screen of my laptop. You see the Microsoft the store. It looks like a box. white box with different colors, red, blue, yellow, and all that. You click on it. When you click on it, it opens, so the Microsoft Store opens up. As the Microsoft Store opens up, you go to where you have the app. It's on the left top corner of the web page. It opens up, you click on your app, go to the App Store, and then just click on this. So it goes to your App Store, and it shows you the different apps that you have on Microsoft on the store. Either you look for a Power BI, or you type in. Let me just move this so that you can see what I'm doing. All right, so search, now just put in Power BI. Power BI, it brings me to this. I click on Power BI desktop, and then it loads for me. Because I already have it on this system, it's telling me open. If I don't have it on my system, it will give me install free. Are you with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so it will give me install free. But because I already have it on this system, I've already installed it on this system, it's telling me open. So I click on it, and then it brings me to the app page, to my Power BI page. So you have this, once you click on it. So once you download and you install it, it takes you to the page and it opens for you. So I'm just going to wait for it to open. All right. So when it's installed, this is what you have. This is what comes up when you have the page open. Now I go to blank reports, because that's the page from which I can work from. On blank reports, on my ribbon here, I have file, I have home, I have insert, I have model, I have view, optimize, and all that. And then to the left-hand corner, I have report view, I have table view, I have model view, and I have the DAX query view. On the right-hand corner, I have filters. So filters will tell me if I need to search and all that. I have visualization. That's what gives us the presentation for our Power BI. And then I have data, if I need to search for data. So I'm going to revert back to our Microsoft's our Word document, and we'll quickly go through it. Okay. So for Power BI, I said, so it's basically for data presentation. Now, the common flow when we create reports with Power BI is that first, we start with the desktop. There are 3 flows with Power BI. We start with the desktop. That's where we are able to connect to data and then create our report. And then we can publish the reports to Power BI service and distribute it to customers. The good thing with Power BI as well is that I can work on my Power BI page with the data. If we have the same data set and data source, I can work on it. And if you feel there are additions and all that, you can also modify it. And on the Power BI app, we will see whatever filters we have all added to it. So if we want it changed, it can be changed. That's the beauty with Power BI. it is interactive. You can change figures and juggle things with Power BI. That's the beauty of Power BI, particularly when you have been able to load it on Power BI service. That's on the web service. So like I said, the sequence, like the stages in Power BI is you connect to data, you get a data source for your Power BI. If you have to clean it, you transform the data and then you load it to the Power BI desktop. I will explain in visuals what I mean by all this. Then you can create visualization and reports with Power BI desktop. From that visualization, you can publish a report. It will ask you if you want to load your report. You load it to the Power BI service such that if it is loaded, as long as you have the same data set, we can all work on it. So you see what I'm working on it per page. If I add anything to it, you can also say. Then we can also distribute and manage reports in the Power BI service. Now, the page from the app where we work on is called dashboard. So this is what is called dashboard. This where you have my cursor hovering is what you call dashboard. And it is on that dashboard that we work with. Whatever we need to do will be done on that dashboard. If we are creating charts, tiles, and all that, it will be done on tiles. So I'll show you what I mean by that as we proceed. Okay, so the advantage of Power BI, like I said, is that it can create catchy reports for analysis, and it is good at decision making. So if you need to make decisions quickly, you can do that with Power BI. Then data analysts, they use it to create insights. So if you're futuristic about a particular project with the data, whatever data you have, you can create insights and predict that, oh, okay, so with this data that we have, these are the potential visuals that we can have. And based on that, we can take a good business decision. Then Power BI is presented in desktop application, online platform, and cross-platform mobile app. So you can have it on your phone. You can have it in an online platform. That's the service whereby I can access it. You can access it from wherever location, and then desktop application on my system. So this shows the flow, like the flow chart of how Power BI works. It moves from desktop to service to mobile to the mobile. Okay, so then also I think it's trying to look okay. Yeah. So for Power BI, this is what you have. Let me minimize this. Right. So this is potentially what you can have on Power BI. But this is what you have on the, let me zoom in so you'll see clearly. Okay. So this is what you have on the desktop. If you remember, it's similar to what I showed here. You have the filters and all that, similar. So this is how the desktop is. But like I said, it's your visuals are presented by the desktop, and then it moves to the service. By the time you upload it, it will ask you if you need to upload it. It comes to the service where any other person can view it. As long as they go online, they can view it. And then you can also have it as a mobile app. You can have it on your mobile. All right. So I've explained what we use Power BI for. If we need to use Power BI, we have to first create a semantic model. Then we'll connect it to data, transform data, establish a relationship and calculation. And from there, we can create visuals and reports. We use the visuals to create low code reports. We can drag data and move it around the canvas and then publish it on our dashboard. And then who uses Power BI? It provides high-level performance level information at a glance. Then it helps business owners, business stakeholders to make important decisions at a glance. It's very interactive. And then even non-tech enthusiasts, you don't need to know anything about data. They can quickly interpret the data through the use of the dashboard. And it gives them an easy understanding of a business scenario that can be created. So having explained that, I'm going to try and explain, so from the use of Power BI, I'm going to try and move through that, get into the practical thing. So we go back to our Power BI. Having downloaded, this was where we are. When we downloaded it, this was the page that opened. Now, like I said, to my left corner, I can create reports from here. If I don't want to, if I want it in a tabular form, I'll have this. But this will come up after I've imported my data. So first on, once I have the Power BI opened, I can come to File, the ribbon up here, and say Get Data. From my ribbon up here, if I click here, the drop down will show me the common sources of data that I have. Because I have the data set saved in my Excel worksheet, I can go ahead and click here. I can also, if there are also other sources of data as you have on the drop down, and then you have the option of more. If I don't want to do that, I can come to other sources. So if it is not a data I have created that I have already, I can access other sources of data. Okay, so other sources of data could mean, oh, okay, so for this particular one, there's no, because I've not loaded any data in here, but other sources of data could mean data from the web, data from, so it does not necessarily mean it's my own data set that I've worked with. It might not be things I've worked with. It might just be some other random data that have been worked on by any other group. So that's for that. So I'm going to come back to Get Data and click on my Excel worksheet, either from here or from the page here. So I can add data to my reports from the page that it comes up, either input data from Excel, input data from SQL Server, paste data into a blank table. I'll use a sample data. These are all data sources that I can have. Because I have it in my Excel sheet, I either click here or I go to from the ribbon. Then it brings me to my page on my saved on my laptop. I clicked and I open to my files. I clicked and I open, and it will load the data for me. So just to wait a while we load our data. Connect. So wait to load our data. It comes to the navigator and it shows me, it displays options. So this is the sheet I want. Inside this Emerald training data set, this is if I click on this, it goes, this is the only file that I have in it. I only have one sheet. If I have multiple sheets, 2, 3 sheets, it will show it. Then I check the box. Once I check the box, this is what it shows me, which is the data I have. If I don't check this box, it will show me down here, load, transform data, cancel. So assuming, okay, I checked the box now. Assuming the data, this data set is not a data set that has been cleaned, I will click on transform. And it will open the page for me to work on. So it comes to my Power Query editor and it will load my data source. But because this data is something I'd already worked on, let me just give it time to load so that, all right. So this is it from my Power Query editor. On file, I can save it. So I give it a name instead of telling me it, because by the time I work on it, I would have transformed it from the initial data I uploaded. Now, if there are, and then I can rename it and save it. If there are things I need to change here. So for instance, I'm going to enlarge this one so that we can, okay. For instance, on this data set, I have customer name, location, I have purchase goods, payment method, dates, and the weeks. And then I think the weeks, the payments were made, either week 1, week 2, and then the amount. If, for instance, in any of these data sets, there's any disparity there that I feel it's not okay, I can change it. Once I change it, I come to this applied step on my left-hand side, on my right-hand side, and it will tell me source, navigate, and all that. So I can modify from here. Once I modify it, it will tell me, it will show me a Dropbox that says I should save this data set. And once I save it, it takes me back to, so I would have that as the data I'll be working with. So I'm just going to minimize this. And then we'll go to our proper page. Okay, so for Power Query now, because I've not done anything on it, it's asking me, do I want to apply the changes? So if, for instance, I've done anything, maybe change like this debit, change it to credit or something, I can, and it will tell me to apply my changes. I'll click on yes. And since I didn't do anything, I just say not now, or I just cancel it. Okay, so, all right. So, pending changes, start changes. Okay, so for this one, it's telling me, so it's either I apply the changes or I discard it. So let me just click on apply so that we can move ahead. Though I practically didn't do anything on because the data set we're working with is clean. I didn't have to I didn't have to do anything. And so in applying the changes, it will load it. Just let's give it some time for it to load.
Ma.
Yeah?
Okay,
Hello?
does this mean that with Power BI, we can do completely without Excel if we can edit in Power BI?
You can't do without Excel because your data source, part of your data source is Excel sheet. If
Okay.
you have your data source from any other place, then you don't need Excel. But the data source I'm using here is from Excel. The reason being that the reason why it gives you the option of transforming your data is, okay, so somebody else might have worked on it, on the data, or maybe instead of numbers, you could have instead of the amount where I have the, let me bring forth the, let's say load first, then I'll show you what I mean. So instead of, okay, since loaded, good. So instead of the amount, for instance, I could have it in 2 digits or in 2 decimal places or 3 decimal places. As long as there is no uniformity, you need to clean that data. Do you understand what I mean? Hello?
Yes, ma. I understand, ma.
Okay. So as long as there's no uniformity, if you have your figures or amounts in, let's just hold on. So one should stay there. Okay. So if there's no, like I was trying to explain, let me bring out the, let me bring out the data set again. Let the Excel sheet load. Okay. It's just taking time to load. So if our data set is not aligned, we need to transform it. We need to clean it up, make corrections on it, and transform it. And once it is transformed, we can now upload it on. Okay. So for instance, this is the data set we're supposed to be working with. We have name, customer name, we have location, we have purchased goods, we have payment method, we have dates, we have, so for instance, if I have this as maybe just year alone, let me edit this for instance. It's possible I have a data set looking like this. It's different from the other dates. It's not aligning. It's going to be difficult to work on it on Power BI, on the dashboard, because it's not aligning. I have dates for others. I have day, month, and day and year. While for this one, I only have the year. So I need to, if I'm going to have to use this, I need to transform it. Okay. And that is why it brings us to that page of transforming data. Do you understand what I mean now?
Yes, ma, I do, ma. Thank you,
Okay.
ma.
Ideally, what I should have even done first was copy out whatever it was I had here before messing up with it. So for instance, let me really work on this one now. So I can copy this one. For Excel, before you work on Excel, you know you must always copy somewhere so that if you have to revert back to it.
Yes, ma.
Yeah. So that's what I should have done first. It's showing me XX because the box is small. I hope you understand that is why you have that hash all on it. So I've
Yes, ma.
expanded it. Okay, so for this one now, let me move it here so I know that this is where I'm working. Okay. So this figure now, if I alter it, assuming I have it like this, or instead of to two decimal places, okay, assuming I have it as a 30 like this, is not reflecting in two decimal
Yes.
points, and I have any other one too messed up like that, I will not be able to work on it because it's not uniform. So I always have to bring my data set. I'm always, I must always ensure that it aligns. The names, if for instance here, this cell G9, I have Mr. John A, and there's a Mr. in front, and others don't carry the Mr., Mrs., and all that. Then I have to clean it up. And that is the meaning of transforming data. So when you load it on on the Power BI dashboard, it will ask you, do you want to transform it? At times, it's just good to open it and see. Click on yes, you want to transform. See if there's anything to work on to ensure that you have a clean data. And if there's nothing to work on, just click on load, and it will load. It will load for you directly. So have I made myself clear?
Yes, ma.
All right. So I'm going to copy this and bring this back. So going back to our dashboard, from here. So I'll just go through the get data again. We load from Excel sheet. Once I click on it, it will load. It will ask me, do I want to load it? I check the box. Okay, it brings me here. I click, I open, it comes up. I check the box. Okay, so I check the box. It's still loading, just give it time. Okay, it's connecting to data source. Okay, so navigator comes up, it will load. I check my box, then it comes there, it tells me, okay, so it has loaded, and then it tells me to load, transform, or cancel. So I load my data set. We just allow it to load while we. Once it loads, it will open for me. Just wait for it to load. Okay. Then, so if you come to file, oh, sorry. I need the data to come up. So on my top left corner, it will, if I click on the table view, having loaded, if I click on the table view, it will display my data set. The data I've loaded from Excel. I'll just wait for it to fully load. So on here, on the right-hand page, I have my data. And so I can also, if I have multiple data that I've loaded, for instance, so for here, because I've loaded it twice, it's showing me that I have sheet 1 and sheet 2. I can work on any of it. I can add to it. I can, for instance, add maybe, well, let's see what we can add to these our data sets. I can open another page and add maybe with this same data, I can open our data page and add, so I have customer location, purchase goods, payments method, date, week, amount. I can put maybe collection. Collection. So where I either say, okay, have they collected or not? If I double click, if I've written something on my Excel sheet and it's not, did you notice that when I wrote collection, it's the collection spilled out of the box? I just come to the alphabet page and double click, it will automatically adjust it. So collection, I could have maybe yes. I could have yes. I could have no. Could have no. Like that. I could have no. Just hold on. So if